welcome back. This is Vicki from the Wicomico Public Libraries, and I'm here with our second installment of our series called Junk Drawer Engineering. Today we're going to be doing one called Candy Construction. It's called Candy Construction because what you'll need is spaghetti, just uncooked spaghetti. It's a lot stronger this way. And you can use marshmallows or gumdrops depending on your dietary restrictions. But today, for our purposes, because we don't have a lot of gumdrops here at the library for some reason, we're using modeling clay. And that's the beauty of this program. You can use whatever works in your house. You don't have to go out and buy something specifically for the program. So we've had the spaghetti, we've got our marshmallows or gumdrops, but we are using modeling clay today. You can use Play-Doh as well. So today we're going to work on a project where we're going to build something out of food. Well, this isn't food, but you get the idea. To start, you're going to take your spaghetti, and I've broken these in half. Sometimes I get those pot-sized spaghettis that are like 99 cents, and they're already broken in half for you. Those are super convenient, but you can always do the hard work of breaking the spaghetti in half. So what you do is you take your gumdrop, marshmallow, Play-Doh, modeling clay, whatever, and you're going to just push the spaghetti into it. Now sometimes this happens. My spaghetti broke because spaghetti has a relatively low tensile strength. Tensile strength is the ability of a material to withstand bending or pressure. Spaghetti, of course, does not have a whole lot of that because it breaks pretty easily, which is actually good when you're trying to get it to fit into the pot, but not so great when you're trying to build something. So you gotta be gentle. And I'm gonna get another piece because I wanna make things. Got all of our spaghetti here. So when you're building a construction, something to remember is some shapes work better than others. Some shapes are stronger than others. If you look at a bridge, you will usually see, if you look closely in the understructure of the bridge, you'll see it's made of a lot of triangles, because triangles in the engineering world are really, really strong. The way the force is distributed is really efficient, and it can hold a lot of weight with a very little amount of material. When you're picking out your material too, you want to make sure you pay attention to the weight of the material versus how much tensile strength the material has. So I'm using modeling clay, which normally modeling clay is a good choice, you'd think, but modeling clay is also very, very heavy compared to, say, marshmallows. Marshmallows, while they might not have the strength in the connection, are also really light. So you may be able to make a much taller structure if you're using marshmallows, because it can hold a lot, it'll be a lot lighter, so your spaghetti, which has a low tensile strength, can hold a lot more of the marshmallows. So you can make more connections, and more connections means a higher height. So what I'm doing is I'm making a base for my construction. Oh no, I lost a piece, I can't. Get back in there. Sometimes that happens. Not so much with the marshmallows, they're a little stickier, but with modeling clay, yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to try to build up and see how high I can make this structure. Just gonna stick these in here. So I've got my, oh no, apparently I pushed it into the table. So I've got my joints here, and I've got the beginning of my structure. And as you can see, if you lose one of your connections, your whole thing can start to fall apart, which would be unfortunate. Now, like I said, marshmallows are going to hold on to the spaghetti just a little bit better, which is something to remember, and gumdrops as well will hold on to your spaghetti just a smidgen better. Oh my gosh, stop it! But that being said, I'm going to very, very carefully put some more modeling clay on top of here, on top of here. Before that has a chance to fall, as it wants to do, I'm going to, connect these two. And when I do this, what you'll see is a square. But here's a fun trick. I'm going to take a piece of spaghetti, and I'm going to measure it roughly from corner to corner. I'm going to break it off right where it is. And then if you've ever played with Connects, which are these little toys that have gears and lots of little connections, this is kind of like playing with Connects. So now what you see is I have not just a square, but they're two triangles together. And again, triangles are really, really strong. They're not exactly level, and that's okay because we're just playing with spaghetti and marshmallows or whatever. But let's make the rest of this triangle and see if we can make it look a little bit nicer. Again, a little more clay, or whatever you choose to be your construction material. I'm gonna put this in. Oh no! It broke in half again. That's okay. We have lots more. I got a whole pound box. Very good. Now come back and get in here where you're supposed to be. So, come on guys, let's play nice. And sometimes talking to your constructions, it helps. Makes you feel better anyway. We need another half piece. If you break them all just about the same in half, you'll have roughly the same size. You don't have to worry about being quite so precise. So now we've got 2 extra squares. I'm gonna do the same thing we did before. And you can always play around and see what works best. You might see if there's any difference between how tall you can build it when you're having triangles in there, or how tall you can build it when it doesn't have triangles. So, and some of this coming out, the spaghetti coming out is because they're not all the same size, and that does make a difference. So, like I said, you don't have to be precise, but sometimes it helps to be. Get back in your home. Get it in there. Okay. Yay. So this is going to be too short. So we got to get another piece out. And just like before, we'll measure from corner to corner. Break it off. And we'll go there. And you might want to think about the size of the putty you use for different corners, because if you don't use enough, you can end up with some structural issues. Get back in there. I told you once. I'm not going to tell you again. So this is not a beautiful structure by any stretch of the imagination, but it is my structure, and I am pretty proud of it, and you should be proud of your structures too. So again, most of this is going to be playing around and seeing what works, because some things work better than others. So one thing to remember is circles are also really, really strong as far as construction, like arches and bridges, but unfortunately spaghetti does not make very good circles unless you cook it first, and then you kind of lose all of its strength. So what I've made is a very oblong little doodad here, but if I was to build up from here, I could make this even taller. So that is how we do candy construction. From here, you can take this program and this project home with you in your brain from the video, and you can have a competition with your siblings or your parents or your grown-ups or your friends if you allow them to come over, and you can see who can build the tallest one. And it'd be a really fun way to explore engineering and the concept of different shapes and how different structures have different abilities to, different things to offer to the construction. Again, marshmallows are lighter, but they're not as strong. So you can build higher, but you might not have the stability. Putty is very, very strong, as long as it holds on to the spaghetti. But it also is much heavier, so you won't be able to build as high before the spaghetti will buckle under the strain of the weight. So play around with your materials. You can even try different pastas, different like fettuccine, angel hair, or spaghetti, and see which one works best. Because sometimes your fettuccine, while it is a thicker, more robust pasta, may also be heavier, so you can't build it as tall. You might also want to look into rigatoni, those little round hollow ones, because if you've ever seen any of those ancient Roman Colosseums, you'll see columns everywhere, and columns, rigatoni, are some of the more sturdy structures, again, because there is a circle. So go ahead and give those a try, and any extra pasta, you can make some amazing mac and cheese or spaghetti, because pasta's great. It's lovely. So I'm really happy that you joined me today, and I really hope you enjoy this project, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you learn a lot about engineering and structures and different types of pasta. Well, we'll see you next week when we have another video on another junk drawer engineering project. Until next time, this is Vicky signing off, and happy building.